Wow. Well, I think that sort of ties in a little bit to the next question that I had, because one of the quotes you have early in the book is, "Nothing is more American than meatpacking." And yet, most of the workers we meet are not American born. So, can you, for lack of a better pun, unpack for us what you mean that meatpacking is hand in hand with sort of the history of America in so many ways?
Yeah, I mean, even for me, this political moment, because my book really is dealing with the first Trump administration, and we're about to enter the second. And if you look at ideas of masculinity, especially with anything online, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, viral content about masculinity and men and protein, it's incredible. I mean, and that's just, the current political moment about what it means to be strong and to be a leader and to be a man is very much tied up in meat.
Mhm.
And you can extend that to Jeff Bezos and all that, Zuckerberg and their obsession now with muscles and protein and all these things. So
Yeah.
in terms of the political moment that I was working in, I really was interested in that. And you can look at different time periods in the way that meat has defined the United States or defined masculinity. And so for me, that was something that, despite, the offerings of different plant-based companies and stuff, we're still very much a country that's tied up and connected to the meatpacking industry.
Yeah. And you see that that idea kind of reiterated by the Tyson managers of why it's so important for these workers to be there during COVID. Like, depriving Americans of their meat is the worst thing that we could do at the sort of the height of COVID. So let's get into the people who really are the backbone of your book. I mean, you interviewed so many of these migrant workers: Mexican, Guatemalan, El Salvadorian, Karen, Samoan. I mean, they're an amazing group of undocumented folks who we meet from all over the world, not just Central American. How did you begin to build relationships, build their trust? I mean, taking on Tyson is not an easy thing to do. It's very intimidating. And we'll get into it, I mean, they have sort of everyone, all the powers that be in their court. So, how do you go about the reporting process of this, of actually building trust with people and getting them to really be candid about their kind of nightmare experiences?
Well, I started out because when I started reporting this, I was reporting via phone because it was, when we still weren't really sure what COVID was and how it was spreading and all of that. So I was contacting Arkansas organizations that work with immigrants and asking, do you know anyone who would want to speak to me anonymously? Because I knew I couldn't use their names. And if you read the book, the only people in the book who use their real names are either dead or no longer work for Tyson. It's a very serious and difficult. I had no idea how difficult it was going to be. But so I started contacting people who are willing to speak to me anonymously. And then eventually I started trying to meet up with people. And I really gained traction when I met up and interviewed the director of an organization called Venceremos, which is central to my book. It's a worker-led organization founded by 16 immigrant women who work in the poultry processing industry. And that's where I really started meeting workers, and they wanted to share their stories because they were organizing around several key workplace safety issues, and they wanted their stories to be heard. And the rest of it was me driving around Arkansas during COVID, interviewing
Mm.
people, meeting them in person. I mean, we're talking about people who are, they're not on email, they're maybe not texting, they're maybe not even, they haven't paid their phone bill. It was a lot of really in-person work, and especially because some of the workers are illiterate, it's just it requires a different level of reporting and
Yeah.
commitment.
And I mean, you do a remarkable job of it. How open. I mean, people are with you is sort of a testament to your skills and to your language skills. I mean, how many reporters in Arkansas are fluent in Spanish, for example, and can actually do these interviews in that language? I mean, that's one of the tension points in Tyson, the managers and the workers not being able to communicate, and Tyson not making any real efforts to translate documentation or anything for these workers.